We're not really set up for that, but we can hear you now and you can hear us now.
Okay. Can I share a table with you for a moment? Okay, I just need to be able to place this down. Hi, I'm Nicole Cipriano. This is Katie Ross. We are residents of Branford. We are parents in Branford. We are very, very committed to Branford. I am the PTA president at Tisco School. Very involved at Tisco School. I'm very involved in the entire school system as well as the town. Katie?
I'm Katie Ross, and I'm also very involved with the school, with the town. I love Branford. We want the best for Branford. Our kids attend Branford Public Schools, and you can go over here. Oh, we counted about 50 people. I know a lot of people have left because it's 25 to 10 now, but we also have almost 300 names on our petition that you've probably heard about, and it's still counting. We're still getting names.
And before we even begin, I want to say the most exciting thing I have seen on the budget tonight that thrills me to death is the fact that our elementary students are finally going to get foreign language. It is so important that at that age, they begin the process of learning a second language. It's long overdue for Branford, as is something else we're going to talk about. One more time in the process of a 40-year history where hundreds of parents have come to their boards of education before us with this issue. At the beginning of the year, it used to concern me that there were 27 students in a 5th grade math class. Team 5-3, period 3, 27 students. That concerned me. But then, what I realized, what it was really like having 90 students in a class. This is an open classroom. Partitions, bulletin boards, file cabinets. It's 4 different teachers teaching 4 different subjects to 90 kids in one big room. It is beyond a difficult learning environment. We know that. We've heard it for 40 years. The open room concept at Walsh leads to many students having a hard time hearing what their teacher is trying to teach. It doesn't matter how fabulous the curriculum is or how much the curriculum costs. If they can't hear it, it doesn't matter. It leads to teachers having a hard time teaching. There must always be a concerted effort in keeping your voice low. Little movement in the classroom, because remember, there are 60 other kids right around you that can hear you, that can see you. Vibrancy in teaching, it goes out the window because the teachers have to keep their voice down and keep the students' voice down. Do the students repeat? Probably more times than you can imagine. They need to repeat what they just said, what they're telling their students. Hearing, concentration, focus. This is what's necessary for our students to learn in any classroom, never mind a middle school classroom. We had a parent in 2005 that brought in an audiologist to come and look at the decibel level at Walsh. And 35 is the accepted decibel level in any classroom. That audiologist found that at Walsh the levels were anywhere between 50 and 70. 50 and 70 for our Branford students at Walsh Middle School. For 40 years we've been playing this game. Very difficult for our students to be able to filter through all the other noise that is going on. The government standard on acoustics says, we all know how hard it is to understand speech in noisy situations, a conversation in a noisy restaurant, construction noise outside of our office window, a loud air conditioner. Any one of these conditions leaves an adult straining to hear. Adults are experienced and skillful in listening in noise, but it's much harder for your child whose listening and language skills are not yet well developed. And at the age of 10, 11, 12, 13, that development is not there yet. It's simply not. We need to fix this problem. And it is a Branford problem. It is a huge Branford problem. It affects you in this town whether you are 10, 40, or 80. How does it do that? Well, we have one of the most beautiful shorelines in all of Connecticut. But I can think of a few towns near us that also have a beautiful shoreline, but they don't have a good school system. And the value of that town, the value of our property, the value of your business, the value of your land, it goes straight downhill. It's 2012. Most young families, they can't afford private school. When that Q Bridge is done in a few years and we have so many more families coming out to the shoreline, they're going to bypass Brantford. It's one click on the computer and they can see the problems with Walsh. They can ask their realtors. In fact, I have a letter here. This is from the 2010 President of Connecticut Association of Realtors, the 2009 State Realtor of the Year for Connecticut Association of Realtors. As a full-time realtor working for Coldwell Banker and selling houses for the past 15 years, I can assure you that if the local school system has a less than favorable reputation throughout the town, the property values will suffer. People with children absolutely base their home buying decisions on the local schools. If word spreads that a local town has an issue with the school, especially a middle school, then people will decide to buy elsewhere. This matter is serious to the people who have children and the people who don't, as this will affect everyone in the town of Brantford. I urge you to work together to come to a solution that will rectify the noisy situation that makes the students, teachers, and residents unsatisfied with Walsh Middle School. I implore you, make soundproofing Walsh a priority. Make the difference for this incoming class to 5th grade in September 2012. Other projects are moving along very quickly. This isn't new. And Hamlet Hernandez did not create this problem. He inherited this problem. We're asking the board and the town to move quickly and swiftly. Thank you. Hey.
So I have some tentative numbers. BKM, which has a lot of acoustical solutions and so forth, came out. They were called and they visited the school 4 weeks ago, or maybe a little more. During that visit, they were shown a 6-classroom cluster, and were not shown the full school or the common areas. So we have an estimate on a 6-classroom cluster. BKM was told that there's no money for this project. And as a result, BKM provided an estimate of $35,000 for 6 classrooms, which includes electronic white noise systems, a new classroom acoustical ceiling tiles, and 5 sound baffles per classroom. The biggest sound culprit is the ceiling, which doesn't absorb reverberation. The current ceiling tiles are in very bad condition and they need to be replaced. They were damaged due to the roof leakage over the years, or last year, whenever the roof leakage was, and they're yellow. They've had some moisture, maybe a little mold and dust in them. And this discoloration of the ceiling tiles actually results in the ceiling not being able to reflect ambient light properly. So new ceiling tiles will help to reflect the ambient light as well. Hanging baffles block off the conversational bleeding, which means if a teacher's talking in one room, it's not quite as loud in the next room over. And the electronic white noise system runs at a very low decibel level and minimizes what you hear in another classroom. To try and fully quantify this estimate, because we only got the 6-classroom cluster, Nicole and I physically counted classrooms today, and of the open classrooms, we found 25 open classrooms. So the estimate we have is about $150,000 to remedy the classroom area. This does not include the common areas because BKM did not walk through the common areas. So acoustical clouds, it's some sort of cloth, it's like a cloud to help with the sound, could be installed in the common areas at about $200 a piece. Our request is that money be allocated to do the following. Hire an audiologist to measure the current noise level at the school. Prepare specifications and bid documents for reducing that noise level to the greatest extent possible. Bid the project so as to allow award of the work to the lowest, most responsible bidder, cover project costs, and cover project contingency. So based upon the classroom count of 25, we believe the classroom portion of the project to cost $150,000. We have added $100,000 to that amount to cover the audiologist and begin to soundproof the common areas with clouds or baffles. Please realize that this is an uneducated estimate due to the lack of information provided from the Board of Ed staff to the BKM when they came out, and will be subjected to change. And BKM has given us an estimate of a 200% return in noise reduction. They're pretty confident that it will be a 200% return if they do those soundproofing measures. All of these materials, the acoustical ceiling tiles, the baffles, and the electronic sound machines, may be reused if a larger building renovation or a rebuild were to happen in the future. So you can always reuse these materials. And that's about all I have.